Rob Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a copy here of the government's response to the developments last night, addressed to the Home Affairs Select Committee, and I have to say that I find this response completely unacceptable. Is the government seriously implying that Fiona and Ellie, who have been disbelieved and called liars by the British state their entire lives, are spreading misinformation about a process that they have been directly involved in? Because that would be a deeply damaging thing for any government to imply. And worse, Mr. Speaker, there is a line in this letter about the government's proposed inquiry in Oldham, which says the government, and I quote, have been in discussions with Oldham Council about the right approach for Oldham. But how can that possibly be right? How can the Home Office discuss the right approach with the very local authorities that they are being investigated? It would be like the Post Office sitting down with the Post Office to negotiate how they should be investigated. So can the Minister explain how the government will be restoring trust right now in this process, given the contents of this letter that the Minister sent to the Home Affairs Select Committee last night?
Minister.
Can I just be completely clear? They are not spreading misinformation at all, but his interpretation is a brilliant case in point, because I will be completely honest, the conversation with Oldham is, do we not think it might be better for them just to take part in a statutory inquiry? That it is absolutely nothing to do with the idea that Oldham is telling me what to do. And the more people from that side, he can hold up his paper and have a smug face all he likes, but the fact of the matter is that there is absolutely no council in this country who will tell this inquiry where it can and cannot go. I have said that 1,000,000 times from this dispatch box, and yet the same thing gets peddled again and again.
This exchange in Parliament highlights one of the most sensitive and emotionally charged issues facing the British political system today: trust. Trust in government, trust in investigations, and most importantly, trust from victims who feel they were ignored, dismissed, or failed by the very institutions meant to protect them. At the centre of this confrontation is a letter sent by the government to the Home Affairs Select Committee regarding an inquiry into serious allegations connected to Oldham. And what we see here is not just a disagreement over procedure, it's a deeper clash over credibility, accountability, and public confidence. Rob begins by making it clear that he finds the government's response completely unacceptable. His argument is built around one key concern: the treatment of victims. He refers to Fiona and Ellie, individuals who, according to his statement, have spent years being disbelieved and dismissed by the state. This is a powerful accusation because it suggests a pattern, not just a one-time mistake. When victims come forward and feel ignored, it damages more than just individual cases. It damages trust in the entire system. Because justice doesn't just depend on laws, it depends on people believing that those laws will be applied fairly and honestly. Rob's concern goes even further. He questions why the government would discuss the structure of an inquiry with Oldham Council, the very authority connected to the events being investigated. This raises an obvious concern about independence. Because for any investigation to have credibility, it must be free from influence by the institutions involved. If people believe the subjects of an investigation have any say in how that investigation is conducted, confidence in the outcome is immediately undermined. And Rob uses a striking comparison to make this point clearer. He compares it to the Post Office scandal, a major controversy where innocent people were wrongly accused due to systemic failures. That scandal became one of the biggest miscarriages of justice in modern British history. By invoking that example, he's sending a warning. He's suggesting that when institutions investigate themselves, mistakes can be hidden, accountability can be avoided, and victims can suffer for years without justice. This is why independent inquiries exist. They are designed to remove conflicts of interest and ensure that investigations are guided by evidence, not influence. Now when Jess Phillips responds, her tone is firm and defensive. She immediately rejects the idea that Fiona and Ellie are spreading misinformation. That's an important moment, because it directly addresses the concern that victims are being dismissed or undermined. She then shifts the focus toward clarifying the government's position. Her argument is that discussions with Oldham Council are not about giving them control over the inquiry. Instead, she frames those conversations as part of determining the most effective structure for a statutory inquiry. This distinction matters. A statutory inquiry has legal powers. It can compel witnesses to testify. It can require documents to be produced. And it operates independently under legal authority. Jess Phillips emphasizes that no council has the power to control where such an inquiry goes or what it investigates. She repeats this point clearly, suggesting frustration that the same accusations continue to be raised despite her assurances. And this exchange reveals something important about modern politics. It shows how deeply trust has been eroded between political actors, institutions, and the public. Because even when officials offer reassurances, skepticism remains. People want more than words. They want transparency. They want independence. They want proof that justice is not influenced by politics or bureaucracy. This is especially true when investigations involve vulnerable individuals or serious allegations. Because when people come forward, they are placing their faith in the system. If that faith is broken, the consequences go far beyond a single case. It affects how future victims feel about coming forward. It affects whether the public believes investigations are fair. And it affects whether institutions are seen as protectors or protectors of themselves. This is why inquiries must not only be independent, they must also be seen as independent. Perception matters just as much as reality. Even if an inquiry is conducted fairly, any appearance of influence can damage its credibility. And that's exactly what Rob is highlighting, the appearance of potential conflict. While Jess Phillips is trying to reassure Parliament and the public that the inquiry will be independent and thorough. So what we are witnessing here is not just a procedural argument. It's a struggle over confidence. Confidence in government. Confidence in investigations. Confidence in justice itself. And until that confidence is fully restored, exchanges like this will continue. Because in a democratic system, accountability is not optional. It is essential.